Hey guys, welcome back to After Credit Movie Chat. This week we review Fantastic Four. Joining me at the table today once again is Cam, Nick, Robert, and Doug. I am Dean. And let's just get right into it, guys. What do you think of the movie?
Were you starting with ratings, or were you starting with
I'll start with what you liked, and then we'll get into what you didn't like.
All right, starting with me. What I thought they did really nice with the origin story, building up and everything. The children part. What I really liked was the origin story in the beginning, guys. I'm sure we all can agree with that.
I agree.
What happened was, as the movie progressed, it slowly dipped down.
Yes, it did.
It went down a slippery slope, kept snowballing and everything, and ended up being anticlimactic. And what do you guys think? You guys agree?
Well, he pretty much just summed up the movie.
Yeah. I'm personally really into origin stories, so I thought the first half of the movie was great, or fantastic, as you might say.
Oh.
And like he said, the second half was just kind of a dud.
The origin story, and they really the way they had advertised it was like a sci-fi horror, and they really went into it like. One of the scenes after they received back from the dimension, I won't go into too much, but there was some certain imagery that was like kind of disturbing, like, and then they went into like how they're really monsters and they weren't handling it well, and the way it was shot was like, it was kind of had horror elements, and I really liked that. And then it was right after about halfway through the film, where we really saw where maybe those on-set problems really came to light, and it just jumped ahead. It did some weird things, and it just continued to go downhill.
There's a small little time jump, I guess. They skip over a couple
of them.
And after that first major one, it just goes way downhill. The movie just kind of falls apart in its focus. There's one redeeming scene with Doctor Doom, and then after that, it's just terrible.
And I thought there were some humorous parts. I played like a lot of the dialogue. They did use some of the catchphrase of Fantastic Four as they put them in there. I liked a couple of them. A couple of them seemed like that was forced. We didn't.
Yeah, some parts were really cheesy.
But it was a superhero movie too,
right?
So
you
cheesy comic bookness can be.
I wasn't expecting the way they were gonna bring the clobber in time thing.
Yeah, they kind of tossed in there. It was kind of like that didn't really work. They used it again. I was like, that was a little bit better, but
Ben,
overall,
as the Thing, was definitely my least favorite of the members of the Fantastic Four.
I thought personally they did a good job with the Thing. He looked cool.
He looked cool, but his character sucked.
They didn't utilize him anyway.
Why was he there?
He like dropped off. He was like there for the first like half. Or not even, like the first third, and then dropped off.
Yeah, there were definitely some story elements where it's like they would leave one character out and just throw another one in there to involve them, and then they would just switch it again. Overall, though, I thought all the actors, I liked the performances. I'm like, oh god, this guy's awful. Toby Kebbell as Victor Von Doom, liked him. They didn't use him anywhere near enough, and they gave him some cool development points of why he was like he was, but they skipped over a lot of his character.
This movie definitely could have used another 45 or half hour, 45 minutes.
It is a short movie. It's only an hour and 45 minutes.
And it rushes the ending.
And that could either be because the onset problems with Josh Trank, the director, they didn't have enough, things went wrong, and there's also things that the studio got involved and took things out because it was over budget. So there's a lot of possibilities here to what went wrong. We could blame the director of the studio. Either way, something wasn't quite right with the movie.
I want to jump back to like the characters because I didn't really get a chance to jump in. But Doug. Jamie Bell was another guy's name for the Thing.
Yep.
Ben. I personally thought he wasn't like the best character choice or actor choice because he's like kind of smaller. So I was like, I don't really
He's a
picture
rather
image.
large character, to be honest.
Well, I kind of liked it because
as a thing.
Well, because overall, the powers that made him bigger, but the thing was, all of their things was mostly like their personalities, and his trait was he grew up rougher. He kind of was always Reed's, kind of like friend, but he was his friend, but he was more of his bodyguard in a way. He always stood up for him. It's kind of like their personalities.
They really never showed
that
him stand up for him, though.
Yeah,
they never showed him stand up for him. He's just kind of this kid that he...
No, they dove into their friend Reed Richards and Ben Grimm's friendship a little bit when they were kids, and then they jump ahead to when they're teenagers. You get the idea, but they don't really go into it, which is some of the character development.
You can't really feel like they have a friendship there.
Yeah, they just kind of like, hey, we happen to be near each other once, and then it didn't seem like they were actually friends. Kind of just seemed like they
had similar interests, and that kind of brought them together.
Right, I didn't mind that, but they didn't develop a lot of characters. I'm telling Doug here before the movie, I heard some people complaining that they didn't develop the Sue Storm, Johnny Storm relationship because Sue was adopted. And I was fine with that. If they just mentioned, oh, you're adopted, that's fine. I mean, whatever, you were adopted. But they kept hinting at that Johnny didn't always like it. It wasn't always easy for him. They kept hinting that there was problems, but they never went into it. I would have liked some more development there because they didn't develop a lot of the characters. They were just like, here they are, and they went for it.
Yeah, to be honest, like the group never seemed like a group.
No,
No,
not
and
really.
I-
It seemed like they were forced to do.
And I'm
all
fine
this.
with
Well, I
changing
guess
certain-
they had
Especially
to.
Ben, he did not seem like he
No, he was separated from
yeah.
I wish he was more involved in the
Hey,
program.
You guys built this whole thing without me.
Wow.
And I couldn't help you if I was even here. We got a junkyard.
But I'll go with you.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
coming along. I'm taking credit for stuff. We
Yeah,
did
they
it.
didn't. They just threw characters in there to use them, and then when they get their power, is one of them. It's just kind of like just thrown in there how they got there. It's kind of like, well, this is kind of, and then
I think like the last one.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think
and
that
then-
makes sense.
obviously as we said, Doom was completely underused, and then when he shows up at the end, there's some pretty cool scenes with him, but overall there's just nothing really happened. I mean, people said there's zero action in this movie. There's an action scene, but is no anywhere known, and shouldn't have been the climactic scene.
A
of the
superhero movie, I want to see the superheroes using their superpowers, and you really got 5 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe,
and they really
not really even using them.
They really skip over a lot of the time where they would have been learning to. They just breeze right over that.
I would have been fine with that if then they jumped more into actually like, hey, we know how to use our powers. Instead, they kind of skip over them learning it, and then they don't really ever use it.
Yeah, the first half of the movie is the complete origin, which first half of the movie to me was great, and then all of a sudden they just decided, let's not do an origin story anymore. It's like, maybe you should have either stuck to the origin or not done it all and just been like, here are your heroes, go for it.
Yeah, the last fight scene, that was pretty pathetic. I mean, Doctor Doom, he's like a really overpowered
Being, yeah,
Over-
hero.
over-
Especially that
character,
hallway
villain.
scene, man.
His first scene where he was like introduced and he had his powers was the best scene in the movie. And then it's like, oh sweet, this guy's gonna be awesome. And well, then he had another 5 minutes of screen
It
time.
wasn't anything wrong with the characters themselves. It's just either scenes were deleted or the writers didn't go into it because everything was there. I liked, but there wasn't a whole lot there.
How long was this movie?
I think it was just an hour and about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that
it was well under 2 hours.
superhero comic action movie. That's like the blank you expect of a comedy because there's not really a plot to a lot of comedies.
Right.
Yeah, they run out of jokes. I mean, this, yeah.
And like I said, I'm fine with changing the comics, but Reed isn't the leader of the team at all in
No.
this. And then
Definitely not.
Doctor Doom, as I didn't mind his look, but it's nowhere near what the comics is. So
Yeah.
I mean, change
didn't
I
it.
personally
like
liked
how
his
they
look better in the original Fantastic
agree.
Fours.
Yes. same.
Although personally, I still feel this movie was better than the other Fantastic, because those were just cheesy, and there were redeemable things, but this one, to me, was the best Fantastic Four, and that's not saying a lot.
I kind of disagree because I mean I haven't watched them in a while, but just
Yeah.
from
I
memory,
think
it
they
seems like they
don't
were
have-
better.
From memory,
They don't hold up. I think if you watch them again,
They didn't
you
really
kind
hold
of
up,
see some
but
things.
I feel like some stuff in plot actually happened compared to this one. I'd have to go and rewatch them, but they're
Yeah.
equally bad, but if not at least the first Fantastic Four. This is definitely better than Silver Surfer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
How about compare the actors and actresses? Like, what do you? who
Although
do you
I
think
love
performed
this
better?
cast.
Like, do you
Personally,
think
I
the
like
cast
the
is better?
old Thing a lot.
They're all
better.
That's what I was kind of getting.
Everyone
towards.
else, I'm
feel
fine
like
with the
the
new
old
versions,
thing-
but
They're extremely talented, and I just think they didn't give them enough. I told these guys, I'm ready for a sequel. I don't know if they'll get one because I'm sure this movie will not make much. But
Rotten Tomatoes 9%.
don't. If you give these guys a good director and maybe Simon Kinberg is a good writer, but if maybe he comes back or they change it up, the powers are cool. These movies should be great. You have great actors. Just do something with them.
If they do make a sequel, I'm looking forward to it because the Fantastic Four comic storyline, it could be a great movie if they just had the right people
And
directing
get
it.
in a
right.
new villain in
with
there. Don't use
X-Men,
Doom.
if you really, if they had,
there's
if they
been
had the
rumors that
rights,
they-
yeah.
Well, they have the rights, and Fox has said it. They came out today, I believe, and said they're in parallel universes. But if we've seen the X-Men with their mutants, and then maybe with these dimensional travels,
Yeah, dimensional.
they're going to cross over, which could be really cool because these are great actors with cool powers, just the way the X-Men all are. So I'd be up for that because maybe that would get a better writer and
What
director.
would Wolverine's claws do the thing if he tried to?
That's
stab
what I was
him?
trying to think
Well,
of.
Hugh Jackman's done, so I don't think he'll.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You're saying
He's
well,
done.
if Wolverine.
After his next solo
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
he said he's done being
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Which is where I think they'll do the Gambit and Deadpool will become those characters.
This is off topic, but who was Gambit?
Channing Tatum.
Okay.
So good actor.
I like him.
Although another thing, Robert leaned over to me and said this too, is the last half of the movie I didn't see too many problems, but the special effects really weren't great. You could see kind of the background looked cool, but you could tell they were in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Especially when they were still, it wasn't so bad, but when the camera started to pan while they were standing there, you could tell that.
I mean, at the end of the movie, like the big action scene, which wasn't much of one, it looked fine to me. But it's like they just skipped out. I think maybe things with Fox wanting not the budget too much, so they didn't put a lot into it, and maybe that was the case, or I don't know. But it didn't look believable.
His whole plan, they didn't even really explain that much. Like that thing he constructs. I'm not gonna talk too much, but he makes it in like 2 seconds, and he doesn't even explain what it is or what he's doing with it.
Right.
You just have to kind of imply what he's doing.
Yeah, it was kind of a mess at times. I enjoyed it more than I thought it was, but I was going in with this is gonna be the worst movie I've ever seen, and it wasn't quite that. So I did enjoy it more than I thought.
You were saying it was gonna be better than the previous critics are giving, so you were saying going to it at least not terrible.
But they, like we said, Rotten Tomatoes. I try to be optimistic in movies because, personally, to me, I don't know why we should trash movies. Shouldn't we want a movie to be good? Because I want to enjoy a movie. I want to have a good time. So I root for it to be good.
If it's bad, then you can trash it.
You could have read that on the website, guys. Check out the website.
Some movies, though, it's like to kind of criticize them. It's like this one's like I definitely would not see this movie again.
That's a rent.
If you catch it on cable, I would suggest watching it.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Catch it on TV.
We saw it in an Extreme Theater, which
$10
wasn't really worth it.
No.
If it's on Netflix, think about it.
Yeah, it's short too. So I mean, you're not wasting 3 hours like I wasted with Transformers 4.
It is pretty
short. It's at least not a long, terrible movie. You're gonna be done in under 2 hours. So it's like,
and I don't think you'll hate it. You won't be like, wow, this is good.
If they make a
wow, this is great.
This is fantastic.
So obviously, everyone has their own opinion. You can like whatever movie you want, but that's just us personally.
Yeah, if you just watch the beginning and try
the first half of the movie, is great.
If they make a sequel and the sequel is like half decent, then take 2 hours or just under to watch this one because the sequel's good. But wait to see if they're making a sequel, and then because maybe that won't be good. But up until then,
definitely check the movie out and make your own opinion. Don't just take ours. But I'd wait till it comes out on DVD or find it on cable.
There's no rush to try to see.
No, don't run out and wait for some other movies.
Don't see an Extreme Theater. Don't pay that extra money.
Yeah,
if you want to go for the popcorn. That's why I go.
Guys, anything else you want to get into our scores?
You're drinking pop now.
Yeah,
scores.
Alright, Cam, let's start with you. Out of 10, what would you give this movie?
I'm gonna have to give it a low blow 3 out of 10.
Oh. Yeah. Nick?
I'll give it a 3.5. Give it a little bit more.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going at about a 5.5. I had such low expectations, and the Human Torch to me has always been a character I loved, and Michael B. Jordan did a good job. But such low expectations that I liked it more than I thought I would, so I'll give it a 5.5.
I went there with very low expectations, and they met them, so 3.
I went in there kind of just blinded. I mean, I heard these guys talking about how bad reviews it was getting. Please don't touch my tricep. And, but if I had a 4.5, that's probably a good score, I thought.
Yeah, it's above what the critics are giving it, because they're at, what do you say, 9%?
IMDb gave it a 4.3.
9% is way too low. I mean, that is like the worst movie you've ever seen, and there's redeemable qualities. The first half of the movie is great, so I don't know how you can give it a 9%.
Well, because the movie completely falls apart, the first part of the movie kind of becomes obligatory.
That's true. I mean, we're all like 30% or so. They're at 9%. I don't quite agree with that.
I'd be like if I give it a 1 out of 10.
I think they got a little.
They take it really professionally.
The 3 out of 10, it's
that's true. It's their job, so obviously they know more than we do. But
debatable.
Debatable. He's our host.
All right. Thanks for checking out the review, guys. Make sure to check our website, check our Twitter page at AC Movie Chats. You can buy some of our merchandise on Redbubble. I'd like to thank the guys sitting at the table with me, and we'll be doing a review for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. next week, so check on that out. Thanks.